I'm not AI. DOB 12279, issue 060523 21, and then of course I'm nearsighted, so I'll have to get closer for this smaller number. 002141 5392201. Class C cars, vans, pickups, semicolon, may tow a vehicle less than 10,000 pounds, endorsements none, restrictions B, corrective lenses, card version, you can't make it up, 5/24/2021. Who knows? Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. Drive carefully, come back soon. Well, I've had a fab day because when I talked about it, I walked to and from welfare, they denied me food stamps that I rightfully paid for and deserve, and sorry, it's a coffee, and I'm almost going to run out of creamer, and it's 12:09, so happy Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, right here in downtown Las Vegas. Okay, and Scott's biggity boss, Manoj from India, owner of 5 Hour Energy Shot and Bridge News, Newsnet, Alaska, and America, anytime he would call, because Scott Centers can fake it with the big boys and girls. He would say he likes men better. He would say he would answer the phone no matter how mean he was to me at any day or hour of the night when he was at the Regency Towers or when I was forced to be in Palmetto. Not Palmetto, I didn't hear Manoj on the phone that I knew of, but in Alabama sometimes I'm in Fayette. That's 202 2nd Avenue Southeast, Cross Street, MLK Drive, 35555. Sorry, this is hot. I'm rationing my creamer. So anytime he would call, he would pick up, and then he started wearing this black silk mask on his face, and that's when our printer was making those noises, and I don't know what he was doing or recording. Ask Kalamata Gatula, Wahabi, Agabi, or Little Rando who's watching, because there's a wire in his head. They know more than I do, because I wasn't there when they were doing all of that stuff. He would pick up the phone to Manoj, who says he, according to the internet, donates 98 or 99% of his earnings for clean water in India, his home nation, state, whatever you want to say. And that's true. He would pick up the phone, Scott Centers, how are you? I think Manoj would say, because it wasn't on speakerphone, I'd only be better if I was a set of twins. I'd only be better if there were 8 days in a week. You were looking so good to me the night we met. Penetrate my heart. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even on Sunday, every day of the week and night, 24/7, baby. Either you got it or you don't. Now, and I've always said this too, and I'm not somebody who ask my dad. He always says, I'll work and I don't need a man in my life. But now I've been thinking about all of this stuff because I know about, people's sexuality, and I learned it in August. I thought this would only last a couple of weeks when I stayed at Treasure Island, right before I went to Trump International Hotel. Now I don't have $300 or $400 to, but like I said, I thought it would only be a couple of weeks and we'd be back home. And now it's 10 months and counting, really, and really 11 years and counting. So I saw people hiding out, and I noticed the first meal I had, and then when I was in there, I think I called police for some reason, and security came up and banged on my door, and they were really scared. And I checked myself out early, and I got my money back. And they said, I don't know, but I had medical marijuana in the bathroom, and they went in there and said, you can't smoke medical marijuana in here. And, I mean, not even that it's Las Vegas. People smoke marijuana and do worse things in hotel rooms, right? And I was going to smell up the room, and I got scared and I left, and then I went to Trump International. And then they saw a bunch of my paperwork and said that security wanted me out of there after a couple of days because I wasn't holding all my stuff on my person, on my backpack, or one of those Longshan bags I had. So then I called one of my best friends, LD Howard. He's a police officer up in Chickaloon, Alaska, not associated with Anchorage. And he said he was going to make some calls. I don't colleagues. I don't know. I don't think I've said this before. Police are, I've said it before. I don't think I'm in with police or anything. I'm friends with his friend, his wife Sarah, and their children, Savannah and Porter, and they had Kalamata when I was going through some really bad times in Anchorage before I got down here, and I wasn't going to leave Kalamata, so I met them in the parking lot with that Jennifer Brown, and I wasn't doing well, but I wasn't just drunk either, and I wasn't going to leave, so I brought Kalamata down here. So he called, and then I believe a good LVMPD police officer, I won't say his name, he, met me in front of there. And he showed me some paperwork, and then he said, can I walk to Sunrise Hospital myself? I already talked about this. It was about 107 degrees, and I had my black fake Army, U.S. Armed Forces cargo bag that I got at Marshall's, my Marshall's down here on Maryland, close to Parallel Street, Twain, and that's been going good. So I still have it, it hasn't broken. So I did all that. And why would they do all of that? And then I don't know about property, but I do now. And now Elon Musk is going to China with our president. And I don't know if any of this is AI. And I'm not perfect, but I'm just so fabulous. And without trying. Oh, I don't think cigarettes are cool, right? And I look pretty much the same. I just wear glasses. And it's been a year, but not really. So then how's everybody? In whatever time zone you're in. How's everyone's sleeping schedules that I care about? Everybody. How's my dad? How's everybody? Who's jet lagged? I am, and I haven't even left Las Vegas in years. Yamas. And I had a good one. So a hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. That's all relative. I still don't want to drink, and they don't like it. So I'm glad I bought these. I got them at the 7-Eleven right down here on Fremont Street, and they were $16 and some cents. And they work in my iPhone, but they don't work on FaceTime, but they work for YouTube. And I don't know if they work talking on the phone, not always. And this MacBook Air Apple Mac, it recognizes these, and I'm probably just wasting time, but I want to edit with them so the entire globe, at least around town, can illegally listen to everything. Not that, obviously everybody's illegally recording me, and I'm just so popular that they are anyways, right? So it's not going to work. Let's see. Nope.
If these walls could talk, I think there's what's dynamic about it is everyone has a Regency Towers story, whether they've lived here or are part of the Las Vegas community.
The American dream, and my family really embodied the American dream, especially retiring here and living on top of the original skyscraper of Las Vegas.
The best thing about living here, I think, has been looking out the window and seeing that incredible view.
Well, the charm of Regency Towers was its mystery. The mystery was there were incredible icons of Las Vegas that were living here or that had places here that they came to on occasion.
Las Vegas has been built by vision and visionaries. No better example of this were the Regency Towers, which blossomed into existence in 1974 behind the gates of the iconic Las Vegas Country Club. Some 5 decades later, the mystique of the Regency Towers remains, evolved from a glorious, compelling, and remarkable history.
Well, I remember watching it being built. I was a student at UNLV and I lived in the Huntridge neighborhood. And so watching this high-rise go up, knowing that it wasn't a hotel, it was an amazing thing to watch. And I imagine what kind of person would actually think of building a high-rise like this in the middle of a community where there was so much vacant land. It was truly a one-of-a-kind project and wonderful to watch it being built.
The who Marion wondered about was developer Paul R. Channon, president of Channon Development.
52nd Golden Jubilee and counting.
Parent company of the
If these walls could talk in terms of square footage.
Along with Vice President
And Michael
Herb
Jackson
Kaufman,
moved out the very next day.
Associates,
Guys, he's New York
built
Post
Regency
reporter.
Towers in
I read him
Channon
because
to
my
build
mom's a
the
really good
skyline
cat. And I could interview him ad verbatim
It was one of a kind.
and play games.
And it took
My
Las
father had
Vegas all of a
split screen
sudden to a very,
TVs.
very horizontal place.
Was that
Beautiful
25D?
vertical place.
Homer
Vertical.
M. Rissman was a top architect
Frosty
and
no
designer
Spun,
of circus
Brian.
and other
That's
notable Las Vegas
Gringlish for Brian.
To make the project
Greenspun,
feasible,
Frosty
Shannon
no
secured
Spun.
financing of
On my green screen.
$11,360,000
How's the
from Heitman
Sphere?
Mortgage Company.
How's
The deal
Maxine?
was said to be the
How's our
largest
pool?
financing commitment for a residential project in Nevada history at the time. However, Shannon's company ran into financial difficulties. Enter Paradise Development and legendary developer Erwin Molaski.
Well, I was in my dad's office, and he was concluding a deal with the developer of this, or the insurance company that was financing it. And at the same time, he was pre-buying the penthouse unit. Dad was a very focused person. He was, on the one hand, he could take big risks, and the other hand, he could analyze things down to the most minute detail.
The risk that Molaski and Paradise Development President Herb Tobman took by purchasing Regency Towers was mitigated by very favorable loan terms from Aetna Insurance during a time when interest rates were
Love
soaring.
Maria Athens.
Not only did
Stay tuned
Molaski
for
make
part
the
2 on the
purchase,
TV.
his influence attracted a who's who of Las
Hourglass
Vegas to call
now.
the towers home.
Got thicker.
In the beginning,
All
one,
natural.
2, or 3 bedroom
No fake tanner in the
units
winter.
ranged from $50,000 to $91,000.
I think that one of the things that made Regency Towers successful
Is me.
when it was first developed
age.
and it was first planned.
Where
it
Neo
wasn't
meets
successful.
vintage
It wasn't selling.
without even trying.
But then when you had
And I got it in
Erwin
47
Molaski
County.
actually living in
And I've
the
got
building that he was
stamina,
developing,
even with all these
when you had
cigarettes
Hank
I'm
and Barbara
smoking in a
Greenspun
bigger
living in this
quantity.
building, that sent a message to their peers that said, this is the place, this is the address that you want to call home.
My father loved it. And what he loved about it is he knew so many of the people who had moved in there. And he loved to
Body
run.
language now. I can tell
Instead of running
a lot of things
around
that's
the
not as
block
necessarily
that
bad.
he used to do when he lived on the ground.
You are.
He would run up and down the 27th.
So did I after it got me high. I would walk myself in our boring, sterile neighborhood. I would go down, walk our
families at
and come back up,
Regency
and I would
Towers,
have my
they
muscular
have
legs.
multiple generations
So I don't look good
living
with them too
within
muscular,
Regency
so I stopped.
Towers.
And then we're on the 25th floor, you can walk up to the 27th. But then you can only go to the second floor and get on the elevator. Sorry, the third floor.
Regency Towers quickly
And then
became
get
the
off
place to
second.
live and
There's
the
so many
place to
floors
be.
I do and not know
Notables
about.
who
I don't
lived
even
in
know
or
about the
spent
mob stuff.
considerable time
Then you have
Mo
to take
Dalitz, Debbie Reynolds,
one of the 3
Latoya
segregated
Jackson,
elevators that
Michael
never
Jackson,
work
George Carlin,
every day, but
Kurt
one
Capori,
usually just pops up and
Sheriff
works
John
to
Moran,
the first floor.
Charlotte Hill,
So we say
Miriam Borders, and Tony Spilatro, plus many
Mo
other
Dalitz
notable Las
and
Vegans
Maria
from many
Athens,
different backgrounds.
Agape, Kalamata
When I think about
Gatula,
Regency
Happy Athens,
Towers, I
and Will
think
Randall
about
Centers. Now his
all
government
the,
name is
amazing
Scott
people
Lower Handle
that have
Centers.
lived here. And one time I came down the elevator with
And this is not winning.
George Carlin, and
He
I
must have
just
bought
did
it on a
something
short
that he was
sale.
not happy
I think it was
about, and I got
2008. I lived in Athens,
very
Greece with Agape and
cold
Kalamata.
shoulder.
And this
Couldn't
city
wait
went
for the
bankrupt.
ride
That
to
was
end.
pre-COVID.
My parents loved it, and at night all the
And
lights
then
were
when we had
But the really cool thing
Vegas
I think
Strong
about
Year,
that
I was in
apartment was
Alaska.
not just
So I have
the way
Googled
the-
in recent
the beautiful
times, and I had
marble
forgotten, not really.
glass and the-
It's the largest
and
mass
mirrors, and
shooting
was-
in the
it was
history of the
decked
United
out.
States
The
to
cool
this
thing was our
day.
neighbors. We found
And
out
in
that we were
15
living
minutes,
with
it'll
like
be
the
midnight right here in
biggest
Las
families
Vegas,
of Las Vegas.
and it'll
We
be
had
May
the
12th.
Molaskis to our left, the
I know.
Greenspuns to
And
our
Little
right,
Randall
the McDonald's on
will
the
be
other
08
side. And
on
we felt we were
the
like the
26th.
hillbillies of the building. It was really
Happy
fun.
will be 3 on
To
the
me,
18th.
Regency
in just 6
Towers
days,
is
so he's not a
more
puppy
than
anymore.
just another building, another condo community, really just another piece of real estate. To me, it's
To me,
a
now
lot
I love
of
that place.
old
As soon as I walked in,
history
and I've been in
charm.
some really nice,
There's a lot of mystique behind it.
really nice structures, homes,
and it's really
condos,
something
high rises.
truly
That's
special.
still my favorite.
He's
I know.
part of that
And then Scott
mystique
Hunter
is the
said he bought it for
relationship
me.
between the
I
Las
never
Vegas
asked
Country
for
Club
it.
and Regency
And then
Towers.
he's bought it.
The club
No
was the first
coincidences,
truly
or
private
some
country
good
club
who
in Las
knows, right?
Vegas, and many members were also
The charcuterie
Regency
board
Towers
Will Randall
residents.
has used in his
And Molaski and Davis,
Dallas
along with
substation,
Howard Rohn and Merv Adelson,
installation
were
military
part of the
base in
club's
our
furniture.
room.
The view
Scott
of the
Centers
course
bought it,
was,
and it's
and
engraved,
still
and it
is,
says September
always
7th,
front and center.
2017,
Clearly,
and
there was a relationship
Agape, myself, and
between Las
Kalamata
Vegas Country Club
Gatula,
and Regency
and Will
Towers.
Randall Centers moved
One,
in
Regency
September
Towers
7th,
was in the middle of the
2018.
Las
And I used to
Vegas
joke
Country
about when,
Club.
or not joke, I thought it was kind of
But
cheesy
it
when
had
Latrell, my best friend, went with
I don't know that
he's still in
Regency
Alaska.
Towers
He
is
said,
an
you can't make it
example
up,
of their
you can't make it up.
but it certainly couldn't have happened without their influence. The Regency Towers would never have been built in any other location in the
Need I
city
say
or
more?
in the heart of Las Vegas if it weren't for the country club.
Very
So the
funny.
country club.
We're good. We called 911 twice. I did. Now I
the
called
high-end
311 first because I was
homes that were
scared
then gonna be
of
built on the country club,
police force
they
and
added
what
to that
Scott Sanders had
ambiance
done
of exclusivity,
in prior
that
years, in
ambiance of
2020.
reaching the heights and the pinnacle of citizenship and residencyship.
In the late
Then he
70s and
talks about
early
illegals.
80s, Mob CC
And it's still
became
going.
a popular
I mean, I
nickname
guess
for the Las
not
Vegas
the,
Country Club.
but wear my
Certain
clothes
alleged
or,
mafia
curl your
members
hair.
belonged to the
I
club,
mean,
and their shadows also
there's
spread
nothing
to
to say.
Regency Towers.
and I'm not
Of course,
worried
one of
about
the
that
really
really.
things about Regency Towers is the history, and it
That's
kind of,
the Snedowski.
goes into the mob culture a little bit. I mean, everyone's seen Casino
I've
and
seen
the famous
Casino.
scene.
I
It probably
mean,
took
I
place
love
like
it.
right over there. So I mean, it's kind of neat when you walk
Excuse
around,
me,
you kind of
Sigourney
feel the
Weaver.
old time Vegas thrill.
There's the stories of, the old mob days.
Everybody
Everyone
knows them.
and
I know.
Who lived here, when they lived
I love
here,
you,
how they
Maxine.
handled when there was any evidence of anyone coming in, secret passages, secret escape routes.
In my closet,
so
I
there's-
know.
There's
That's
a
what I
multitude
heard.
of stories
Now,
that
last
have,
year,
surrounded Regency Towers.
I left AA one of the times.
Again, if
So
only the
I wanted
Regency
a
Towers
constructive
walls could
project
talk
to
for
do.
the stories
So I spent
that
about
would be told.
$5,000 primarily on
Like a
Amazon.
fine wine or invaluable
Painting
antique,
at Lowe's
Regency Towers
and decorating. I
continues to
said
be
I gave it a
appreciated.
facelift, and I
And a
even
future built on
framed
glorious
Scott Center's
history
U.S.
is
Army
eagerly
photo,
anticipated by a new
and so much
generation
more.
of owners and families.
And then
When you have an opportunity
so I
to cross
had
those
to do all this
gates
stuff
and you
in there,
drive through
but it's
and,
not.
and
But he
there's
said,
the
"Oh, that's
maturity
what it's
of the trees
So
and
I
the grass
said,
and the,
I
and
heard
the
that there were
different
jewels
product choices
under
that are
my
offered here, you don't feel like you're part of Vegas, but it
closet
captures
because I
a
painted
feeling
it
of
powder
what old
puff pink,
Vegas was.
pretty magenta,
Investments
not
in renovations
magenta,
and
like a hot
enhancements
pink, but a
continue to
little
be
bit
made by
deeper.
the newest
So he
generation
said I could
to
do
keep
it,
Regency Towers
but
modern
not
and
too
relevant.
loud because of the
The
neighbors
history,
and the
present,
HOA.
and future all add to make the 50th
I'm not obsessed
Golden
with death or
Jubilee
anything,
magical.
but what was I going to find back
When I
down
watch
there? Dead
people like my
bodies?
parents move in
And
there,
there's an insert in
can't
there.
call it
But then I
downsizing,
did
that
not
would be
paint it, and then I bought a rug,
certainly
like a
was
pink rug,
downsizing maybe
to go
in
over
terms
because
of
I wasn't
square
gonna.
footage.
Well, I could have
It
done it
wasn't
myself, but I looked at
downsizing
these things,
from a financial
cut it
standpoint,
off,
because the
cut it with like an
Jeffersons
X-Acto
called it
knife or
moving on
something. Well, but not because I saw that ring on. It was like
And,
making me run into stuff and do other
And
stuff.
it just proved the
so I
case
didn't know what was
long before we
underneath
had all these
with the carpet. So I bought one on Amazon,
It just
and it was a
proved that
lighter
Las Vegas
pink, and I
could
kind of
have
folded it around, and I was gonna cut it,
And we proved it
but then I thought,
think
well,
the most
because I almost
interesting
did,
thing
but then I didn't want it
to me
to
about
fray.
Regency
And
Towers
Scott
has
Sanders
been,
liked it. He said it was soft
the-
on his
the
feet.
people we've
Now
met
he doesn't
with,
have plantar fasciitis. Positive.
the incredible history of the building. It just never gets
Very
old.
funny
You
old.
see weather
And
moving in. You
When I was
somebody
uncovered
in
all
the
that spyware and
elevator
everything, nobody
produced
helped
some
me
great-
because at first I
great
was
memories.
on their pharmaceuticals or something, and it was subtle at first. I moved what I could
Experience
out in the
this.
hallway. I seriously thought someone was going to come help me or something, from the ground up or something. And I had Agape and Happy and Kalamata Gatula in a Sherpa bag, Little Randall, and a bunch of stuff.
walked
I
right
thought this was
into a
only going to
great
last a
story.
couple weeks. I didn't know what was
lobby
going
was
on.
raucous. There was a whole bunch of
Raucous.
people there.
And a 70-year-old Debbie
It was
Reynolds, I
almost
don't
like
know
there
who that
was
is.
a party.
Yeah, I googled
It
George
was like
Carlin.
gathered around somebody.
And she could do the splits at
they
70.
as I had walked in, I heard this huge roar.
Very
and
funny.
I got a.
That's the guy with the eye
Close, and I
patch.
asked
Now
somebody
he's
what's
married to,
going
I don't know
on.
what a beard is or whatever.
And,
They have
he
dogs,
said that,
Scout Rumor, I didn't even
Debbie
know he
Reynolds
had
had
died.
won a bet
So the last couple
by
days when
proving
they
she
put,
could do the
well,
splits
the
in
really bad stuff was
70-some
happening because I always
years
went to
old,
my
and
pool,
she
but I would
was
take a day
still
off
on
yesterday because I don't want to
the
get sun
floor.
damage. At 3:30 after
So
my
one of
deadline
the
or 4,
coolest
then I would smoke
memories I
smoke
think I have is my
after,
dad
so
was
then
chairman of the
certain
board
people
at
were
the
always at the
time,
pool, like
and
Mark from
Michael
7G,
Jackson
and
ended up
Nancy died, and she's
being our
beautiful
neighbor
and
for
older
about
than
a
Mark.
week.
And
And
I didn't
I,
know
at the
about all
time,
this.
was
She was
writing
an
for the New
architect,
York Post.
and she
So
has
I'm
a
thinking, I
cabbage
need to
patch
get an
kid.
interview with him. He goes,
One of
Michael, my mom's a great
in the
cook. We're letting
80s,
across
like
the
the
hall.
size of my
Let's
cabbage patch
make
kid
you dinner and you can tell me your story and I'll get it verbatim from the New York
and her
Post.
dad's name
The
was
next
John.
day, Michael
John
Jackson
died, her
left.
dad. So she got
I
John.
guess he was a little worried there was a
Johnny
pesky
came over 2
reporter
times
across the way.
Had
It's
played
dynamic,
it with random, and we
Every-
watched the
no
Vice
two units are alike.
documentary with
200+
Kevin,
units, no
and they
two
got
units are
little
alike.
Randall's
Each
Jeep,
unit
and
has a
they
story.
had their little
I always say
food,
that
and
Regency
I took
Towers is
pictures,
an
and then I
emotional
sent it
vibe.
to
Because of
Nancy,
that,
and then
someone
Nancy
walks in,
died.
they love the unit, they love
And then
the
I
feel,
asked if
they
Lil
love the
Randall
location, they
would
love the
Johnny over 2
It really
years
comes
ago.
down to an
Or you're
emotional
not a couple times. But then you know what?
Generally, this
And
is
I
where
believed
the
him, Mark from 70. Now
first
he's
hole
married to someone,
was a
and they were
par
always at
five
the
that
pool in
ended.
one of
The
the
green was
second
right
floor
to the
on the
shadow
little
of the
hotel rooms. And
tower.
they say
But
that
I
you can
remember
rent one of
playing
those for
there
$50 for family, but they've all
many
So I
times.
was just thinking I could
I
go down to one of
thought,
those for a while.
yeah,
Anyways, back to us.
invariably,
So then
when
he
we
tells
got to
me
the
he can't take, he
green,
had Johnny in the closet in
hopefully
the
I was
box.
supposed to the hole that he was.
But then he said,
You look up,
then he
midway
finally
up
told me, I
that
didn't realize it
building,
that much. Can't
and there's
Johnny
the
come over
sheriff
and play
at
with
the
Little
time,
Randall?
who's John's dad. He would always come out on
He said
balcony,
he couldn't take
and he'd
Johnny
wave
out of
to
the
us
box
while he
because
was
it
like
reminded him of
having a cup
Nancy.
coffee or whatever they were doing up
Then
there. It was kind of nice.
First thing that comes to my mind with
LVRJ, I guess
is
Nightless guy with the fake patch on, much like how Scott Sanders had the black patch on
not for the
in
reasons
Alaska
that
when he
you
said
might
he
think.
hit him,
Not
but then
because
he
he
would
was a major
pour
investor
alcohol if I
in
found one of my bigger bottles and
which
then
he
bang me on the
was.
head with it.
But
But I
it was
darker
the
hair,
country
you know, but I
club
guess the
became
alcohol
the
helps
symbol of
the
how
blood, you know?
mob-oriented people
What was I saying?
from wherever they came from, if it was
Oh, yes.
Kansas City,
So,
if it was Chicago, they
The
were still
woman that's
lower
taller
class
that was married to him, not
in
Liz
those
Raymond, who was married to
locations.
Sheldon.
They were
Sheldon was
looked
so
down
nice.
upon because
And so
they
I
were
know
not
that, well,
gangsters,
Liz Raymond, I think,
illegals.
has a secret lover
They've
somewhere
never
else.
been able to belong
She always wants to go to the
a
Olympic Club and hates our
country
pool and would
club
always complain about the
in
Regency Towers.
those
Would always act like she likes me and all these things. Oh yeah.
They created
So
a
then
new
this
life,
woman
a new
at our pool the
personality.
last
They
couple of days when
welcomed
things were getting
them,
really
and they
bad,
could live
she
the
was down there
life
swimming, so I
of
thought maybe she was there to
common
support me, but
citizens,
this is before I
not
called
just
911 or 311.
And the
And they had a
country
big
club was
water
supposed
gun,
to be
white
the
water gun, in the chair I always
My
stayed
dad
at.
and Susan
Used.
Lasky
And it was an
lived
older
here
chair.
from the very
And then they
beginning.
got rid of our ashtray.
They-
It was a nice ashtray from the
raised the
70s, I think.
Fryboys,
It was, you know,
stepbrothers.
stationary white
And, I
and metal.
remember
So then
in their
Maxine
unit,
said to go to Veronica
my dad
and
had-
say
and
that,
I don't think
you know,
that
you'll
many
buy
people
whoever
had
took
that at this time.
you know, you'll pay for it.
Split-
So I went down there
screens,
and I was really
one-
nice and I didn't complain.
about
Or anything.
3 or
I said,
4
can I
small
buy our
televisions
ashtrays
next to
bedroom
each
moves?
other.
Can
Where
I
you could
buy
get
it
all
from
the
whoever
different
took it?
football games
And
and all
that's
the
it.
different
And then
channels.
she said,
We would hang out
okay.
in the
And then I
family
said, just
room
email
and
my fiance
watch
Scott Sanders. Then I
games.
told Scott Sanders because he's the rightful owner, and he said he was going to get it for me.